Alright, so this video we're going to look at determining if a function is odd or even. And this makes a difference for one example when we're graphing to know if it's odd or even. Uh, we know an even function. Here's an example of an even function. Okay. An even function is symmetrical about the y-axis. This is the x-axis and here's your y-axis. So it's symmetrical about the y-axis. An example of an odd function would be something like this. There's the graph of an odd function. It's symmetrical about the origin. See, if we took this part of the graph here and we flipped it down, it would look like this, and then we could flip it over and it would land on top of this one. Okay, that's symmetrical about the origin. So how do we determine if a function is odd or even? Well, a function f of x is even if f of negative x is equal to f of x. So basically what we're doing is we're taking negative x, plugging it in for x into our function, and seeing if we end up with the function we started with. And for a function to be odd, well, f of x is odd if f of negative x is equal to negative f of x. Alright, so we would take the negative x, plug it in for x, and if we can get negative and then f of x, then that means it's odd. So let's look. I've got 3 examples to work. So let's look at the first one. Alright, so it says determine if the function is odd, even, or neither. Alright, so the first thing we do is we evaluate the function at negative x. So we take the negative x and put it in the place of x. So it would be just like this. If we did something like this, say f of 3. Okay, well, we would take the 3 and put it in the place of x, and that would be 3 cubed minus 5 times 3. See, all the x's get replaced with 3. Well, for f of negative x, all we're doing is replacing each x with negative x. So that's negative x, okay, replace the x with negative x, and that's cubed minus 5 times, and we're going to replace x with negative x. And so this would give us, well, negative x times negative x is x squared, and then x squared times negative x would be negative x cubed, and then this would be plus 5x. The negative and the negative give us the positive. Alright, so now you can see that when we plug the negative x in, we do not end up with what we started with. Okay, but on the next step, what we're going to do is factor out a negative 1. So that's negative 1 times, and then when we factor out a negative 1, it just changes the sign in front of each term. And so this is negative x cubed minus 5x. Okay, and if you look at this, well, that's negative. Okay, there's our negative. And then look at this. X cubed minus 5x. X cubed minus 5x. That is f of x. And so that is equal to negative f of x. So we have shown that f of negative x is equal to negative f of x. So this means this function would be odd. All right, let's take a look at another example. All right, so same thing here. We're going to evaluate the function at negative x. So each x gets replaced with negative x. And so that's going to give us negative x to the 6th minus 2 times negative x squared plus 3. And if we raise negative x to the 6th power, well, when you raise a negative number to an even power, that's going to give you a positive. So that would be x to the sixth minus 2 times, and negative x squared, well, negative x times negative x is positive x squared plus 3. And if you look at this, you can see this and this are the same. So we ended up with f of x. So we have shown that f of negative x is equal to f of x. And so that means this function is even. Okay. All right, let's look at one more example. All right, so we've got f of negative x, and so each x gets replaced with negative x, so that's negative x squared plus 2 times negative x minus 3. And so negative x times negative x is x squared, and a positive and a negative is minus 2x minus 3. All right, so if we look at our function, notice we didn't end up with the function. Okay, so we know it's not even. Well, let's factor out a negative. So we've got negative times, that would be negative x squared plus 2x plus 3. And so if we look at our function again, well, that's not this function. So this did not equal f of x, and then when we factored out a negative, I didn't get negative and then f of x, did I? So it's not odd either. So this one would be neither. All right, so I hope this video helped. Give me a like and subscribe. Check out my other videos, and thanks for watching.